What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's Lex, and today we're going to be discussing the one, the only, the primal animal, the Liver King. Let's check out what's been going on with him lately.
Some very interesting news came to light that involves a very popular fitness influencer whom I'm sure you've all seen at some point, the Liver King. He's most known for his videos eating raw meat, raw organs, raw.
Dude, when I first saw him, this guy looked amazing. He's bulky, he's huge, and the things that he was doing, the type of content he was providing, eating nothing but, skin and nut sacks and, or testicles or whatever, and not even cooked meat is insane, dude. The amount of the content he was providing was just crazy, and I didn't even understand it at the time.
Testicles even, which goes so hard. And he preaches the ancestral primal way of living and says that you can achieve his ungodly physique. And his body does look like something straight out of.
Look at this guy, man, ripped out of his. Look at the veins that are coming out here. Look at the way his body looks. You gotta admit, man, it's beautiful. It's an amazing body.
Dragon Ball Z or Baki the Grappler. He says you can achieve that 100% naturally by following his 9 tenets. And he is also a very successful businessman. He has tons of companies under his belt that he claims makes him over $100 million a year. And just a couple.
Well, when he was on the H3 podcast, he said that he and his family. Oh no, I think his wife owns some sort of dentist thing. Also, maybe he did as well, and I don't know.
Days ago, much like my ass after eating spicy food, a big leak happened. Emails between the Liver King and a coach that he was turning to for some advice have now hit the public eye, and these emails indicate some juice usage here, and some pretty expensive juicing at that, which completely goes against everything he preaches because he vehemently defends his body being natural.
Yeah, that's right. Even in the interview, he was like, "Man, you can get any doctor, you can anybody to, try to do a test on me if I'm doing anything that's gonna be enhancing my body or anything like that." So now for this to be coming out is crazy, and it just shows what was going on behind the scenes with the Liver King himself.
He has said millions of times now across tons of podcasts, his own content, saying he has never touched this stuff and never would. He is 100% natural. But now we have a lot of evidence to suggest that that's completely false and just a blatant lie. Now, this is probably the least shocking news you've ever heard because anyone with eyes should be able to look at the Liver King's body and immediately deduce that this is not a naturally achievable physique in any universe. And especially not for someone of his age, mid-40s, he'd have to have had genetics gifted straight from Mount Olympus.
Dude, he's in his 40s and he still has this amount of hair. Still has this beautiful hair right here, man. That's crazy.
And most fitness professionals have called him out over the years saying that he's juiced to the gills. And I mean, just look at him. Like, I could swim in his veins. They're so fucking huge. Like, this man has more sauce in his body than a Chick-fil-A. Even when he's sitting down, just look at his abs. His six-pack is more defined than 4K television, and they have more depth than a Game of Thrones season. It's beyond me how
Apparently, he doesn't even shower. He does not even shower. That's crazy, right?
anyone ever believed that his body was naturally achieved. It's been very clear and has been called out many times that he is absolutely on the gear. But a lot of people just wanted to believe in the teachings and hope that they could get something similar. But realistically, the only way you get a body similar to Liver King's is if you somehow get chosen for the Captain America Super Serum or start.
That is crazy, dude. That is crazy. I don't even know what any of this is, dude. But that is a lot of things to be taking. I mean, it takes a whole freaking a lot of work to even look like that, right?
Cycling some very heavy-duty stuff here. Now, what you're looking at here is everything that Liver King said he'd been taking. This is part of the emails with the coach. And if you want a more in-depth breakdown of what all of this is, More Plates, More Dates, which is the channel that broke all of this, goes into very good detail about what all of this is. So you can see there is a lot that he's taking here, and from what I've read, this comes around to about $15,000 a month worth of these enhancements, these unnatural enhancements.
Yo, 15K a month just to upkeep that body. Whoa.
To get him his body. And I want to be clear here, I'm not just vilifying anyone who uses steroids or anything to help them achieve their fitness goals. I think that's totally within their own right as a personal choice that they make. Yes, of course, it's dangerous, but it's their choice. And who am I to stop them from doing that? If they get medical supervision, of course, that's going to help.
I think one of the biggest problems is that, yeah, sure, it's okay, but the thing is this whole brand was being like sold to, because he was saying that he wasn't even using that, and you can achieve everything with the following his steps of his program. And that's, I feel like, where the problem's at.
The problem that I have here, as well as many other people, is that he's selling a lie. He's blatantly lying, saying that what I have achieved is naturally achievable if you just follow my 9 ancestral tenets, none of which contributed to the HGH that he was boofing up his fucking asshole
False advertisement. False advertisement.
here to get him these incredible results. Like, none of that is what he is selling. He's not selling any of these steroids. He's selling hopium.
If you want to be a top king, if you want unlimited access to cars, money, and if you want to find your queen, then you have to fuel your efforts with ancestral supplements, liver, beef organs, and bone marrow with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because liver is king.
That just goes to show, man, if you could deliver a message confidently and speak very thoroughly, you can get people to believe in anything.
And you already know, with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, always gonna have a whole feast protein shake.
This is a clip from More Plates, More Dates, who made an amazing breakdown on this entire situation that I highly recommend. I'm going to put a link to it in the description. But I wanted to show you one of his advertisements for some of his brands here. And I just feel like this is super scummy because he's making it sound like these supplements, you know, are really helpful to getting you jacked, like me, the Liver King, whose nipples could probably shoot milk fucking 50 yards away with how big my pecs are. Like, he's making it seem like he got huge from these things, and now he's revealing these secrets and selling them to you so you can get big and strong like him. But that's not really the whole story, clearly. It seems like he had a lot of help from a old human growth hormone over here. It's not really the supplements he's selling that worked for him. It's the goddamn HGH and everything else that he was taking.
He forgot to mention that, right?
So it just seems like he's selling all of these dietary supplements knowing full well they're not exactly necessary, and it seems like it's done just to squeeze a couple extra dollars out of his audience here. But I don't think everything he's done or said is harmful. Of course, all of the raw meat eating shit is pretty dangerous. Like, that's not...
Yo, man, eating raw meat is crazy. I would never even think about doing that. Look at the face we paused on. But that is insane to even eat that. I would just do it for the sake of it, for the challenge of it, but I wouldn't even consume that. That's just insane. That's gross.
Optimal. That's not good advice to just go out there and eat fucking raw meat. Like, you should, especially not raw testicles. I don't think anyone should be listening to the Liver King and start panicking like, holy shit, I want to get huge biceps and a fucking bulging turtle shell six-pack. I'm going to go run outside right now and skin a squirrel and eat the balls off of it raw. Like, none of that, I think, is good advice, of course. And of course...
The only nuts I want in my mouth, man, are cashew nuts, you know, kind of seasoned, salted, and having a cold beverage on the side, not raw testicles from an animal. That's insane.
None of his, like, primal stuff really matters. Like, your mindset of being a primal man's not going to all of a sudden make you jacked or anything. But he does give just, like, wholesome life advice, which I suppose could be motivational or inspirational to some people that need to hear those things about, like, having a more positive frame of mind and a positive approach to living life and making time for yourself and having fun, which is all very cliche and not exactly profound stuff, but he does sprinkle those...
Yeah, but that kind of gets lost in the message if you're just blatantly, like, lying about exactly what is going on. So you can have a good message, you can say whatever, but it just kind of shows the type of character you are. It makes it, everything makes... Him lying like this makes everything else questionable in a sense.
Those things in, which is just generally decent advice, like making sure you're taking care of your mentality first and foremost, and not just for gains, but for the sake of just better overall living. Like, all of that advice, I think, is fine. It's more so when he gets into this stuff where he's, of course, blatantly hiding that he does have a past of using steroids and is very much still on those unnatural boosters and pretending he's not.
And the way he would say that, you could go back to like one of the interviews, like the H3 interviews, he would confidently say that he was not using any steroids, any growth hormones. So like, this guy, you know, is just a scammer.
That is a big problem. And all of the stuff he seems to be selling, of course, isn't necessary, and it's not like the key to getting big in the first place. Maybe it helps some people, but it's not exactly as he's advertising it Now, when it's all said and done, I'm sure there's a lot of people in his audience, a lot of his fans that probably don't care and probably always knew that he was on gear, and they'll probably still follow the ancestral way of living he preaches because maybe they like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the
Like sleeping on what did he say? He's sleeping on wood, not showering, not using toothpaste, not doing anything, not using toilet paper. Like, oh my god, like an animal.
ancestral shit he talks about, like sleeping on a goddamn block of wood or being afraid of Wi-Fi signals in the house and shit like that. I think that's all
Wi-Fi.
just super silly stuff.
5G,
He
5G.
became huge in the first place because of his over-the-top raw meat eating and his wild physique. People wanted to look like
Although when he was carrying around those chains and carrying on those things, I mean, I hope that they were real. At this point, you don't even know what's real. But when he was carrying around those chains over his neck and all those weights, that looked kind of insane though. He must be working out still. Obviously, you're not gonna get that body with just doing the things and not putting any of the work in.
him because he looks like an absolutely jacked Radagast the Brown from Lord of the Rings. So people bought into his program under the assumption that if they follow this, follow the ancestral tenets, maybe buy from his other companies that all filter from the Liver King overall brand, maybe they too could look like him. But now that this information has come to light, it's clear that what he has achieved with his own body is only replicatable if you also start cycling that kind of juice. Not from following his program or taking his bone marrow supplements. Now, he has had somewhat of a response to this information coming out, but it's a pretty confusing one. According to the Daily Beast, his response was, "In a weird way, I'm grateful for the recent events that have shed light on this complicated as fuck topic." He then followed it up by humbly requesting that podcasts have him on to discuss.
How complicated can it be? You were taking steroids. You lied about the steroids. You're selling a product while lying. I mean, how complicated can that be? It's not too complicated.
His lifestyle, and then says, "I model, teach, and preach a simple, elegant solution called ancestral living, the 9 ancestral tenets, so our people no longer have to suffer so we can collectively express our highest and most dominant form. This is my
Yeah, dude, forget about everything you've heard. Just focus on the thing that I'm trying to sell you."
fight." So really doesn't say much of anything, just drops a fucking nothing burger on the plate, and that meat is raw. Like, there's nothing here. He doesn't really give any information. It seems like he once again wants to squeeze clout out of this situation by openly asking to go on podcasts, which he's made a habit out of. He's been on more podcasts than anyone I've ever seen in my fucking life. Any podcast you can think of off the top of your head, like maybe your
I haven't seen him on many podcasts. I saw him No Jumper, H3. He was on the, what's it called? Brian Callen and Brendan Shaw The Fighter and the Kid. Those are the only ones I've seen him on. I haven't seen him much more than that.
local college campus podcast, he's probably been on it. Like,
I mean, that's just the rounds. You know, when people are promoting something, that's the rounds they do anyways.
on everything because he openly says, anytime people are talking about me, it's a good thing. Whether it's negative or positive, like there was a whole conspiracy about him potentially having ab implants. He says, you know what, that's great too, if people are talking about me. So he wants as much attention as possible, always has, and even in this situation here, is looking to capitalize off it for the sake of publicity. So I guess maybe when he does go on his next podcast, we'll have more information on his side of things, but as of right now, we don't have a whole lot from him to go off of, but we do have a lot of evidence that I do think is reputable. I don't see a lot of wiggle room for that being fake. I trust the source. I think More Plates, More Dates is very reliable when it comes to information like this, and he delivers a very in-depth look at all of it. Again, I can't recommend his video enough if you're interested in this topic. So yeah, I just wanted to go over this because I've talked about Liver King quite a bit. And I will say, while More Plates, More Dates has convinced me Liver King doesn't have ab implants, I full-heartedly believe.
How is that even a real thing? Ab implants? How can you like do that? Sign me up. I want some ab implants.
He has had ab etching, at the very least, ab etching done. It makes no fucking sense to me how he's able to have such a defined six-pack bulging, bursting from his skin, even while sitting down. That doesn't make sense. It looks like the top of a fucking grill at all times. It looks like it's made out of
he definitely has
actual
a sculpted
steel.
body.
Like, there's just no way. And of course, now it seems like he's been on quite a bit of juice for a while now, but even with that, there's still just no way those abs would work that way. It just makes no sense. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this topic a little bit, and that's about it. See ya.
Yeah, man, that is insane. But yeah, I just kind of followed along, man. The whole entire saga of the Liver King. It was, like I said earlier, he is a silver tongue, and confidently says these things. But that goes to show you, if you say things confidently and you say things straightforward, people will follow you and will believe the things you're doing. Unfortunately, what's in the dark always comes to light. So with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button, smash that sub button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.